Hey everybody, I'm going to do a little project today. I'm going to change out my front strut on my 2000 Civic. I got two bolts holding it in up down here. Now this one here, this is a 14 millimeter. There's a nut down there on a bolt. You got to get that off. And that's 17 millimeter. So I've had them soaking a little bit in some breakaway. There's one out. It's a little rusty. I'll clean it up before I put it back in. I'll change this out to 17 millimeter. It's like, see, you got a nut and a bolt down here. Then you got to drive this in. Tap on it. Make sure it's fairly free. It is, because you don't want to mess with the threads at all. You get a little driver and drive it home. There it is. This thing's flared. It's actually no rust on this. Is pretty good. Still a good bolt. And for up top. Here's the top of your strut. You have these two bolts holding it in. Those are 14 also. All I do is I break one free first. You take this one all the way out. Now the second one I'm not going to take out all the way because it's just hanging right now. Get loose a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it free underneath, and I can take that out and pull it down. Here it is underneath. It's on this collar right here. Pull the collar down. Try to get it out of the way. Sometimes I'm shaking it. I try to pull up top. Get it totally out of the way. Now I can hold this and take that nut all the way out. Now it's going to drop on me. And I want it to come out through the front. So I drop it down. And slide it on through. There you go. There's your strut out. Alright, here's the new struts. So you want to kind of match up. Down here you have a tab. So I'm aligning the tabs. And I'm looking at the pattern of the bolts. And you want that to match up perfectly. If not, you gotta get a spring compressor, which is real shady, real dangerous, because this is a lot of pressure. Gotta compress these springs down so you can rotate that top piece. Look, it looks like everything here matches up. The tabs are down there. Look like I got them lined up, and that looks like it's pretty good. So I think this is going to be a good match. And so right now I'm using KYBs. There's two different ones for your front Civic. One's SR 4040. I believe that's what this one is. This is the driver's side. No, this one's a SR 4041. So 4040 is for the passenger side, 4041 is for the driver's side. Well, let me slide this in and get it installed. Get some stuff here also. That'll go. It's a warning. It says your height of the vehicle might be a little different. There's normally a warning here, like this screw right here, the center screw. Do not mess with it. If you take that off, the spring's going to shoot out, and you probably will get hurt. So you do not touch this screw at all. This bolt right here at all. This nut. These two are going to go through. This is where you're going to put your bolts on up top. And that little tab, you got. I'll show you in the back here. You got to line it up. But we'll get to that when I get to it. Now, these are the two bolts that came out of it. I'm going to actually reuse both of them, but this one has a special nut. It's a special lock nut. I'm going to put a new one on. Here's a genuine Honda part. It's 90215 SB, because it's 0003. It's just a special type of lock nut that goes on here. So I'm going to reuse these bolts, but I'm going to buy a new lock nut and put that on. But first things first, we'll slide up the strut. Now you got a tab. This goes to the back. It always goes to the back. So when you put it up there, you got to make sure the tab's facing back. Slide it on through. Is, make sure the tab's in the back. And I'll slide it up. Gotta match the holes up. And I'll just start these nuts on top. So they'll just hang. Got it hanging. Now I gotta maneuver this on it, this collar. So you push this down. Slide it on up. So you gotta slide all the way up, and that little tab goes in the back here. It lines up. Is in there. It's hard to tell. Yep, I think it's in there. So here's the bolt. I'm just going to hand tighten this in for now. I'm going to try to get this bottom one in. Now the bolt always goes to the back. That's how it came out, and that's how it's going to go back in. Go. A little muscling, we'll get in there. You gotta make sure this tab is in there. Feels like it's in there nice and good. So I got this new lock nut. I'm just going to snug this up. Same up top. And I'll torque them down later. Now, in order to torque these down, it's always good to have pressure on it. So I'm going to get the jack, go underneath here, and jack this up. And probably jack it up so I can barely see it. As soon as it about starts picking this car off the jack stand, then I'll torque them down. So let me get a jack. I'll jack it up. Alright, so I got jacked up, got some pressure on it. And I'm going to bottom bolt. I'm going to crank it down to 47 pounds. Alright. Got to tighten this up, the top part, to 36 pound pressure. There you go. Check real quick. That's it. So everything's nice and tight. Time to get the tire back on and take for a spin. Alright, got the wheels on it. And I actually replaced the front and rear struts. Actually, I got some previous videos. I redone the whole front brakes, new calipers, pads, rotors. And the next thing this year, I gotta get new tires. Those tires are really old. They're starting to dry rot. So this car's old, runs great. I don't put many miles on it. It's like my little old beater. But I'm gonna run these old tires for a good month or two, at least a month. Try to wear on those struts. Then once the struts are, I think, are worn in, settled in, I'll get new tires and then I'll do alignment and all that. But I'm going to give it at least a month for my struts to kind of settle in, get to where they're going to be. The new tires. And see if his car lasts another 20 years. Alright, thanks for watching.